What's up, guys? whirlXbow back here, and today, you know what? I'm bringing you guys on top of some gameplay of some Raza Priest. I'm not sure when the two videos are going up in regards to each other, but probably at the same time is my guess. Um, yeah, I'm bringing you the second half of my set review. So today's gonna be the neutral cards. You'll notice that there's one card that I'm not a fan of that I get a review today, but there are some other cool cards that I really look forward to playing with. So, with that being said, grab a drink. This one's much shorter than the other one. And yeah, let's hop right into the set review. Alright, guys, I'll see y'all there. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Peace. Alright. Safety Inspector. Battlecry, shuffle the lowest cost card from your hand into your deck. Draw a card. What would this be good in? I don't know what this would be good in, if I'm being 100% honest. I do not know what this would be good in, so I cannot tell you what I would put this in. I think this is just bad. Yeah. Alright, Costumed Entertainer. 2 mana, 1/2. Give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. Again, that just feels bad. That was one of the most disgusting sounds I've ever made, so I hope that did not get caught on the mic. But yeah, I would say overall this card's fucking terrible. Okay, so basically the top line are probably just gonna be garbage minions. So let's see if I'm gonna be wrong. See, I don't think this is that great. It might see playing aggro just because +2/+2 is fairly strong in aggro. I don't see this seeing playing aggro because, like, right, I see that, like, Druid, right? Wait, you'd be shuffling in Biggin? That's bad. It could reshuffle patches though. That is big. Reshuffling patches into an Biggin would be kind of huge. So, maybe, but I don't think overall. This effect, just not good enough, I don't think. Horrendous Growth. That is a disgusting name. 2 mana, 2/2. Corrupt, gain +1/+1. Can be corrupted endless. Ooh, I like that effect. That's such a cool effect. I'm getting vibes of, what's the name of the card? The 2/2 Shade of something. Shade of Naxxramas? Shade of something. I can't remember the name of it. But, it used to just be called Shade. It was a 3 mana, 2/2 stealth, gets +1/+1 at the start of every turn, or at the start of your turn. I'm getting kind of vibes like that, because later on you're just going to be playing other shit that costs more than this, get corrupted, you drop one huge minion. But I don't think it's good enough for that. I think it's just worse, because you're going to play it, and it won't have stealth, right? That one, you at least played, it had stealth, so you're able to have it get as big as you want, then attack. This you have to play it, and then hope he doesn't answer it, and then it can attack, so I think it's kind of bad. But it's a really cool effect. I would love to see more cards with this style of effect. Parade Leader, 2 mana, 2/3. After you summon a rush minion, give it +2 attack. This could see playing that rush warrior deck, but the thing is, lords are kind of bad in Hearthstone. Right? There's very few lords that ever saw play, and the ones that saw play were because they were absolutely fucking broken, because they gave +2 attack, +1 health, which was War Leader. I mean, War Leader still sees play, but that's just because Murlocs need the help in Standard. But, like, also the Pirate one kind of saw a little bit of play, but even then, it's mostly been better when there was, like, a passive or an active buff that you'd give them, right? Think Cold Light Oracle, think Navigator. So I don't think this is going to see that much play, if any at all. Pride's Vendor. 2 mana, 2/3. Battlecry, both players draw a card. In Wild, this card is never going to see play. In Standard, possibly. Just play Cold Light Oracle, basically, in Wild. Rock Ranger. 2 mana, 5/1 taunt. It's a fucking... It's the Ranger. It's the Ranger, as I said. It's not good. It's just there to keep in theme of the fact that I think almost every set has had an absurdly high attacked, very low health minion for like 1, 2, or 3 mana. Alright, Showstopper. This might actually just be the worst one overall. At least the original one, which was Magma Rager, was just a 5/1 for 2 or for 3. The fact that this one has taunt is super fucking bad. Showstopper, a Death Rattle sounds all minions. It's a 2-mana 3/2. I fucking love this card. This card I actually think is really fucking solid and might be a tech card. Because the thing is, there's no good silence currently for any class that's not Demon Hunter or Priest. And I think this card might be good enough. Like, Rogues can do this, backstab it, silence everything. So I like this card. It's pretty okay. Pretty okay. Might be a new tech card. Wriggling Horror? Wriggling Horror? I can't pronounce that name. 2-mana 2/1, give adjacent minions +1/+1. That's actually pretty cool too. Right? Say if you go Patches turn 1, or you go Pirate into getting Patches turn 1, you play this, you get both of them +1/+1. That's actually pretty solid. Is it solid enough to see play? Maybe. Is it insane? Not really. Is it better than the 1-mana 1/2 giving me +2 health? No. But it's pretty good. The reason I say no to that is because it still plays into Defile, and the big Warlock decks also play Defile besides Zoo. Yeah. If this was a 1/2, it'd be far superior, because then it wouldn't play into Defile. So as of right now, this card is a meh, in my opinion. Banana Vendor. 3-mana 2/4, add 2 bananas to each player's hand. If there was a really solid mill deck, maybe. But I don't think there's going to be a good enough mill deck to a point where you'd want to be playing this. Or the decks that will be milling, you wouldn't want this effect. This effect is really fucking garbage, in my opinion. Darkmoon Dirigible. Sure, I'm gonna go with, I pronounced that right. 3-mana 3/2, Divine Shield, Corrupt, Gain Rush. Not great, in my opinion. It's pretty lackluster. Again, it's another really cheap thing in a neutral, which are not normally that great. This is okay. Yeah, okay. Right? I'm trying to think of where this would fit in, and I can't see it fitting in anywhere. Maybe into a rush deck, but even then, not really. Yeah, I mean, a 3/2 rush? I just don't know how to value this corrupt mechanic because we've never seen it before. It's super hard to rate, except for if you know exactly what deck it would be going into. And yeah, and I couldn't see any deck of this going into, so I don't think it's going to see that much play, if any at all. Darkmoon Statue, 3-mana 0/5. Your other minions have +1 attack, corrupt, gain +4 attack. Or this gains 4 attack. Yeah, no. No. I don't think this one. Again, it's another weird lord that I just don't think is good enough. You can't play it on 3, you have to play it on 4. The earliest. And you have to play it on 5 on the earliest, and that's just too bad. Yeah. Grey Worm. Gyre Worm? Gyre Worm? I'm gonna go with that. Gyre Worm. 3-mana 3/2. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 3 damage. So the only elemental deck I can see is Priest. Or, sorry, Mage. And I don't think this would see playing Mage. I think it's just bad. You'd be better off playing Blaze Collar or one of the other 30, or one of the other like 4 playable elementals. I don't think this one is that great, but at the same time, it could be pretty solid. I'd say if there's a testing a Mage deck, it's elemental base. This is gonna see testing in it. And then might stay because it might actually be one of the better elementals. The problem is that there's just not that many good elementals. So it's very hard to rate this, right? Because there's nothing to compare it to. This is kind of like a new style of effect for this besides Blaze Collar, but Blaze Collar is 8. Right? Not 3. Or 7. Whatever. So I think this might see a little bit of play. It just also... Actually, elementals are normally early game, right? Because you have all the tokens early. So maybe this might see a little bit of play. Inconspicuous Rider, Battle Cry, cast a secret from your deck. You'd just be playing Mad Scientist. It's just far superior. One less mana, but it's a 2/2 that you trade into their 2 drops. This is not great. Kintor... Kinthus... Cthir? Ritualist? I'm going with its Cthir. Ritualist. 3 mana, 4/4. Pretty good stats. Taunt, Battlecry, add a random 4-cost minion to your opponent. That card's awful. Don't play it. I don't even have to finish reading it. Oh, it's another Meganon. Circus Meganon, 4 mana, 4/5. This has all minion types. In Wild, you'd just be playing the other one. The 3 mana one. I think this one has Taunt. I think you'd still be playing the 3 mana one. I think it's better overall. Just because it comes down 1 turn sooner. Well, at the same time, you might be playing both with all the new cards that want to target things of all type, or one of things of basically what I think is going to happen is if I go back up to this, you'll be playing Amalgadons, right, in like a pirate deck, and the mech is going to be an Amalgadon, the dragon's going to be an Amalgadon, and you're just going to draw a pirate. This would be like 3 mana, 3 things, but I don't think that this one is going to see play in particular. I think it's better just to play the 3 mana one because they come down earlier. Can this actually hit the same minion? If they trigger separately, it can actually hit the same minion multiple times, if I'm not mistaken. So if this can give an Amalgadon +3 attack, this card is broken. So I don't think it can. I'm going because that would be way too good that it can't. But this might actually see play. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm liking this card. But it's going to be like possibly one of this and then 2 of the cheaper one. Alright, Circus Medic. 4 mana, 3/4. Restore 4 health, corrupt. Deal 4 instead. That's an interesting use of corrupt. That's actually very, very interesting. So this would be a 6 cost. The problem I see is that you'd want... If this was both, right? If it was heal 4 to your hero and then deal 4 damage to something, I think it would be way too good. If it was a choose one as the corrupt, I think it should have been a choose one as a corrupt and bumped it up to a rare personally, but this card's very interesting. I don't think it's good enough to see play, but it's a very interesting effect. Like, see, this is what I like as use as corrupt, where the card completely changes in playstyle if it's corrupted. A lot of these just give it like a buff in stats or whatever. I find they're super lame, and normally, like, yes, they're good, but are good enough that you need it like aim that you're going to be playing it 2 turns later, right? Because you have to wait 1 extra turn to play something that costs more, and then you'd play it. So sure, you can squeeze in a hero power with it, but is that worth it? Is like the minion's base stats good enough where you'd have to play it on curve? And most of the time it's no. So I don't think this corrupt mechanic is worth nearly as much as they're valuing it at. But like this card, it would be at 3 mana, 3/4 deal heal 4. Is a strict upgrade to Earthen Ring Farseer. I think that's his name. So it's like super weird that you like have to bump it up, and it's like ugh. This is a very hard card to read, I think. Sorry. I don't think this one is necessarily a hard card to rate, but like that effect on something slightly different could have been like super big. Fantastic Firebird, 4 mana, 3/5 Wind Fury. It is an elemental, but I don't think overall it's that great. It's okay. Meh, basically. Alright, Night Vendor. 3 mana, 3/4, deal 4 damage to each hero. That's not great, in my opinion. Yeah, no, that's not great. That's really fucking bad, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that's bad. Derailed Coaster, 5 mana, 3/2, summon a 1/1 rider with rush for each minion in your hand. I hate cards like this, is what I'm thinking. I hate giving away free information. And I think overall this card just costs way too much mana for the effect. But I hate giving away, right? So if the summons nothing, your opponent knows you have nothing, no minions in hand. So he's going to play around all the spells in your fucking class. If it summons, say you have 4 cards in hand, summons 4 things, they're not going to play around any fucking spells. So I hate that fact where you're just removing really big decisions from your opponent, and I don't think that effect is big enough to the point where it's okay, right? The effect is just not good enough to give away that much information to your opponent. So I don't think, at least at a high level, I don't think this is going to see play whatsoever. Felphoof Pearl Tusk. 5 mana 4/4 rush gain +4/+4 with corrupt. So like again, a 6 or 7 mana 8/8 is not great, or a 5 mana 8/8 would be insane, especially with rush. But is a 7 mana 8/8 good? Right? If you can't play anything else with it on 7, is it good? The answer is no. Right? Just play on 7. There's far superior cards that we play. I don't think this card is going to see play, but it's a. I just hate this like game +4/+4. That's super fucking lame. This corrupt mechanic could have been super fucking spicy, and I find they kept it super fucking basic. I'm not a fan so far. Alright. Optimistic Ogre. 5 mana 6/7. 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. Or to attack the correct enemy, whatever, same thing. No. There's a whole bunch of other Ogre cards. They were never really played. They're all kind of shit. The only one that saw a little bit of play, at least in Arena, was back in the day. There was a 3 mana 4/4, which was like super high stats for the time. And yeah, I don't think this is C play. Alright, next card. Claw Machine. Claw Machines are fun to play with. Alright, 6 mana 6/3, rush, death roll, draw a minion, give it +2/+3. That's actually really cool. I can see this possibly even see play in that like rush warrior deck. Right, because you just like rush in, you kill something, you draw another rush minion you can play that gets +2/+3. Like that's fucking good. Right? This might be like the top of the curve as like a one of. I think it's pretty okay. Hey, thanks for the kind words. I'm glad you've been enjoying the content. I try. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I try. Yeah. Alright, next card. Silas, we all know how I feel about this card. I fucking love it. I love the deck it's in right now. I think this card is going to see play until, like, kind of forever, until there's a better warrior finisher. And, I just think Silas right now is super fucking, super cool. I like the card a lot. And I'm glad I now have a golden one, because I bought the battle pass. But I after, though, completing a quest today, so I just, like, lost out on, like, 15% XP, so that was kind of a grief, but hey. Alright, Strongman, 7 mana 6/6, corrupt, this costs 0. Okay, when the corrupt cards start costing so much, that's when you really need to start thinking like, is this card actually good, right? Because 0 mana 6/6 would be fucking insane. But what decks in Wild survive to the point where you need to play, like, where you'd want to be playing this? Right? What decks survive that long? Priest, Warrior, Warlock. How many of those decks play numerous cards that could actually corrupt this? Warriors, in Dead Man's Hand, there's Nazar. In all the other ones, there's nothing that can actually corrupt this. In Priest, there's Anduin. And then if you play Anduin, I mean, that's really fucking good. Because a 0 mana 6/6 taunt after you play Anduin is fucking insane. So this might see play in that deck. Also because it refreshes your hero power for free. So that's... I could actually possibly see that in Raza Priest. The problem is that it costs more than 5, so it makes Pollock so much worse. Like, already as it is, you're cutting down on so many very powerful 6 cost cards, 7 cost cards, 9 cost cards from Priest because Pollock is so powerful. I think because of that, you're still going to be playing Pollock and instead of this because it makes your deck more consistent. And then in Warlock, you don't, like, you have Voidlord, you have Dreadlord, you have Gul'dan, N'Zoth, and Mal'Ganis that cost more. most of the time you're cheating out the 3 demons, and the other guys fill up your board, so this card just becomes useless. So I think for that reason, this card cannot see play, but maybe in a Druid deck, but even then, Druid, like, you don't really play that much 8-cost cards, at least in Wild, so... This is a really cool effect, though. Super. If Pollock was not printed, this card would most likely see play in Priest, in my opinion. That's still a very powerful effect. You have both of them in hand. You go Raza, kill all the... Anduin, kill all their big things, and then you summon 12 health worth of taunt. That's pretty fucking good. Alright, Carnival Clown. I fucking hate clowns. That's definitely not going to skew my decision on this card. Definitely not. 9 mana 4/4, taunt, summon 2 copies of this, corrupt, fill your board with... Fuck. Am I going to have to start playing a fucking... Okay, no, the thing is that only 10 cost cards corrupt this. Problem is that 10 cost cards normally end the game. And I don't think you're going to want to play this. If this was slightly cheaper, I could see it, but I don't think this is going to be great. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Oh, whoops. What was I here? I feel like there's one really good card for Arena Lock in this set. At least, I haven't looked at these last 5, but the best card I think for Arena Lock is the legendary spell they got. Just thinking about it, put it this way, this is 3 mana, 9 Void Lords. Which is actually insane. Right? 3 mana, 9 Void Lords. I think it's better in Cube, though, because you do have the opportunity of doing, like, super big swing turns with with cubes, where you go... So if you already had a Dreadlord on the battlefield, you can go... what's her face? I just said her name, like, earlier when I was reviewing this card. You get to go... Umbra, Cube, Faceless. And that's just, like, fucking insane. Yeah, it's just broken. Yeah. Besides that, like, possibly this, but I think instead of this, you'd most likely still just be playing Rin. Because Rin has a equally as powerful effect that just has higher payoff overall. But, yeah. Also, I mean... Like, all these cards, I think, just seem weak in it. Besides maybe this, I really like this card. Silencing all minions can be super, super powerful. Yeah, I'm very hyped for that new legendary spell. It's arguably, besides maybe Cthun, it's the one I'm hoping the most, at least at the moment, to get golden from the golden pack you get if you buy the bundle. But I just really think that this Cthun is also game-ending. Like, it's such a cool card. Anyways, next card is Cthun. So Cthun the Shattered. It's a 10 mana 6/6. Start of the game, break into pieces. Battle cry, deal 30 damage, randomly split among all enemies. So reviewing a card like this, you also have to be reviewing all the other cards. So there's Eye of Cthun, which is the first piece, which is a 5 mana spell that deals 7 damage, randomly split among all enemies. It's really fucking spicy. Heart of Cthun, deal 3 is another piece, deals 3 damage to all minions for 5, also fairly solid. Body of Cthun, summons a 6/6 Cthulhu's body with taunt for 5, also pretty good. Maw of Cthun, destroy a minion for 5, they're all 5 costs. And yeah, I think this card could be a new really cool finisher for most decks. Just because the cards... So unlike normal, like the old Cthulhu cards, these ones actually affect the board, right? This can possibly wipe your opponent's board against an aggro deck. This definitely wipes the board against an aggro deck. This gives you a wall to, like, stop the bleeding. And this you can just kill one big minion, right? So I really fucking like this card. I think it might be one of my favorite legendaries in the set, besides maybe Silas and the new book. But this card, I think, is really fucking good. Like, I'm definitely be playing this card in a couple decks. Definitely. Alright, next is Darkmoon Rabbit. It's a 10 mana 1/1 rush, poisonous, also damages the minions next to whomever it attacks. This card is a meme. I'm sorry to say it, but this card is a fucking meme. I don't think it's going to see play in the only rush based deck, and I don't think it's going to see him play in control, because if you draw it in the early game, it's dead until turn 10. And in Wild right now, if you have a card that's dead until turn 10, you're most likely fucked. So I think this card is going to not see that much play, but we'll see. I mean, it could definitely see play, but I don't think so. I think this might see testing, but never actual play. Nazar, the God of the Deep. 10 mana 5/7, like old Nazar. Again, another resurrect effect, but it's a minion of each type. This is so much worse than old Nazar. It's not even funny. So the problem is that all the actual good cards of the different types are very weak when you resurrect them. Right? When you're thinking of really good mages, or really good dragons, right? What comes to mind? Malygos. That is a really good one. Ysera, that is actually a good one to res. Malygos less so, because if they kill it, it does nothing. Ysera at least gets you a card. Then there's like Enforcer, which has a battle cry, not great. There's the 5/3. That one is actually pretty good to res. But then the problem is you get to things like Murlocs, where the best Murloc in the game is a 2/2 that has a battle cry. The best pirate in the game is a 5/4 with a battle cry, or a 1/3 with a battle cry, or well, whenever you play a minion, deal 1 damage to everything, right? So no real good pirates, no real good Murlocs. Elementals, you do have Ragnaros, that's kind of it though. So say if you're doing Ysera Rag, Demon there are plenty. Demon is like that exception where there are a whole bunch. Totems are kind of exclusive to Shaman, and I don't see you playing this in a Shaman deck. So, what other? Beast? I could not think of a single playable beast in the class, in neutral, off the top of my head. I might be missing some, but for 2 minions, you might as well just be playing Old Nazoth and resing Death Rattle minions, where, like, you have Sylvanas that's a really solid minion, you have, what's his face? Like, half the fucking demons are really solid minions, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I just don't think this Nazoth is just far weaker than the other one, which is why I don't like it so much. I'd rather get a golden version of the old Nazoth. Yasharge, the Defiler. 10 mana 10/10. Add a copy of each corrupt card you've played this game. They cost 0 this turn. Or of each corrupted card you've played this game. Now that might be a reason to play the corrupt cards. If this is your big payoff in a corrupt deck, I like it. It's definitely much more impactful than the old one, but less value overall. But yeah, I fuck with it. I definitely fuck with it. I could see myself playing something with this. I think this might raise the value of some of the corrupt cards, but I don't think it raises like the value of this. Because there's still no really good 10 cost that you'd want to play. Like, basically you have to do 10 cost into this, into this, into this. But then you can't play some of the other corrupt cards you got, so I don't think the Clown is still going to see play, but some of the other corrupt cards might see play because of this. Where you have, like, one really big payoff card at the end to, like, swing you back into the game with a different win con, but, you know, I kind of want to try this. I kind of want to try a corrupt deck. Like, all the best corrupt cards in Yasharaj to try and win. Might try that on stream one day. One day. And I rate this card 0 out of 10. I fucking hate it, and I never want to play against this in my life. Yogg-Saron, Master of Fate. It's a 10 mana 7/5. Cast 10 spells this game. Cast the Wheel of Yogg-Saron, which has a whole bunch of different outcomes. And then the problem is that it has the Road of Roasting 5% of the time, which casts Spiral Blast until someone dies. And I fucking hate the fact that there's a 5% chance. Sorry, there's a 2.5% chance. It's any Yogg player, you just lose the game. No matter what, there's a 2.5% chance after he plays this that you lose. Or there's a 2.5% chance that you just win. And I hate I fucking hate cards like this. This is like Knife Juggler on turn 2 back in the day. Knife Juggler on turn 2 back in the day would decide if you won or lost the game. Cards like this just make people upset, and since I know I'm super unlucky, in reality, when I see that this is 5% of the time, I read this as 0.25% of the time I win the game, and the rest of the percent of that 5%, my opponent wins. So, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. I got this as my free legendary from the fucking battle pass, and I am super fucking upset because I am never gonna fucking touch this card in my life. If this card is in a competitive list, I am physically gonna remove it because I know I'm gonna roll Roasting Rod every single time, and it is gonna kill me. The other effects, though, are kind of cool. It casts a random spell for every spell you cast this game, so it's like Old Yogg. Hand of Fate. Fill your hand with random spells that cost 0 this turn. Pretty cool. Fill the board with random minions. They have Rush. Take control of 3 random enemy minions. Destroy all minions. Gain their health and attack. Like, these effects... Like, these... Okay, if it didn't have this, and these were equal 20% chance things, I'd fucking love this card. I would play this card. I'd build a deck solely around this card. But fuck, man. The only time I think I'd try this is if I could play this in a deck with fucking Shudderwalk, and then just, like, fucking Shudderwalk this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I never see myself actually play this card seriously. I think this card is fucking terrible. Like, I do not want to touch this card whatsoever because of this. I actually tried playing this in what is it called? In a dungeon run, and I lost to it, and my friend told me to pick it again, and I lost to it again. Both times my opponent was at sub 10 health, and I was at full health. So, yeah. It just straight up once Power Blast me 3 times in the face, so I died. It is the most upsetting card I find to play. In my opinion. And I fucking hate the fact that it's tied into a standard card. Because that just... I have a feeling, by the way, eventually, if this card gets fucking too popular, it might eventually get banned in competitive play. Because this effect just does not show who's the best player. It shows who's the luckiest player, and I fucking hate that. Anyways, now that I've hated enough on this card, that's the end of the set review. Overall, I say the set is really good if we ignore the fact that this card is in the set. It's not the most powerful set, I think. It's not nearly as powerful as the last 2 sets, in my opinion. Well, even the last 3. But there are some very cool cards that I'm excited to try. I think the most tier 1 likely deck at the end of all this is Secret Mage. Because these 2 cards are super broken, and this is like a slightly better Eleneth sometimes. I'm excited to try a Control Hunter deck with these. I'm excited to try again Malygos Druid with Solar Eclipse. I might try a Demon Hunter deck. I have not touched the class nearly that much. Secret Mage OP. A slower Mage deck, possibly, because I think this card is like really spicy and I want to try it out. Elemental Mage, most likely not. Paladin, Pure Paladin might become a thing. This card is going to be insane and odd. Like, odd is also going to be insane because of this card. Priest kind of got nothing. That list is like already... Actually, no, they got this. Which I think is super good. Super, super good. I don't know if it's a C play, though. It's definitely a C testing. Rogues got a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion. Like, sure, this card is pretty solid. This card is pretty solid. But I just think overall, the cards in this class are weak. Because they're not going to fit in any of the main archetypes. Besides maybe this card is also pretty, like, okay. But, again, I just think Secret Passage is better than it. Shaman, again, kind of got cucked, besides this card, which has, I think, high possibilities if they get more good weapons in the future. I think all the other cards are kind of weak, but I like this card a lot. Like, after going through the set, it's basically what I'm giving, like, recap summaries of. Warlock, this is possibly my favorite card of the set, if Solar Eclipse is not. This card is pretty good, just think it's a worse Rin at the moment. This card is going to see a lot of testing, I think, in Disco Zoo. All the other cards, though, are kind of meh. This looks super spicy. I'm very excited to try a Rush Warrior deck with Galakron, so I think that's going to be the proper way to play it. This card is a super cool card that I wish the Corrupt mechanic was used more like this in the set. Also like this, where the card completely fucking changes. I hate cards like this, where the card is just fucking the same when you do it fucking corrupted or not. It's still like the same style of card. This card is going to see testing as well. We X this one out. We don't want to ever see that card in play. This card's really cool. This card is also really solid, and I like the other 3 old gods. Besides, this off is like, in my opinion, it goes worst, second worst, third worst, and most likely the best. But yeah, overall, I said this. Oh, and this card also looks really fucking cool. But overall, I like the set. I don't know if it's going to shake up the meta nearly that much, just because I still feel like the best. Oh, and there's the Control Hunter deck with these that looks super cool. And Secret Hunter also looks going to be pretty solid. I don't think the meta's going to be shaken up that much, besides the fact that Secret Mage is going to be tier 1. Malagos Druid, I think, might go up higher in tier 2. I don't think it's going to hit tier 1 with Solar Eclipse. I think that's going to most likely make the deck more consistent with that and gets the weight. Demon Hunter didn't really get any more cool cards for Odd, but it got some cool cards like outside of that with like more tempo oriented and value oriented shit. So maybe not an Odd deck, but possibly a more like mid-rangey aggro deck. But I don't think it's gonna be that good. It's gonna probably be to like 3-4. Yeah, Paladin's still gonna basically stay between full-on combo Murloc Paladin, where you try to kill your opponent as fast as possible with a really cheap tip to scales on turn 5. And then Odd Pally with Lothrex on. Also this card is going to be 100% played. I think probably 100% played instead of Lich King in Resurrect Priest. Just because, again, it's going to help fill your board up with random shit. Yeah, I mean, Odd Paladin is definitely getting... I don't think this card's going to see playing Odd Paladin. Again, I don't think you play, like, what, 3 things to corrupt with this? I see this possibly seeing playing Odd Paladin instead of the thing that gives them +2 health. Because this is just more consistently better. And this card 100% is going to see playing that deck. So... yeah, how long? I've gone on for 2 hours. Jesus Christ. So yeah, if I had to give my opinion, probably the top 2 decks... Whoops. I'm sorry, I'm just dropping everything. Top 2 decks right after rotations would be Odd Paladin and Secret Mage. Because nothing else is going to be set in stone yet. Like, no lists are going to be, like, optimized. So for the first 2 weeks, the decks to climb with are going to be Odd Paladin and Secret Mage. After that, they're still going to be tier 1, I think, because they're going to be really fucking powerful, but... Cube is going to start coming back up with this, and Reno Lock as well. Galakron Warrior. I would like to try a Nazoth or Yasharaj Corruption deck. I'm not sure what class it would be best in, but it would be pretty cool. Definitely like a Cthun Control Priest, I think could be a thing as well. Not even necessarily Priest, like even like Warlock or Warrior, Shaman. Shaman less so. The Shaman you want to be playing instead like a Reno with Shutterwalk, I think, if you're going to be going slow, or big. Oh, I'd maybe Priest. Maybe even like a slower Paladin list could see play with this, because Paladin does have a lot of value. And yeah, anyways. That card's also great against anti-mill, because it gives you 4 extra cards in your deck. Or 3 extra cards. So yeah, overall, I rate this set probably like a B, solid B. yeah. Do people want to see... Do I want to play game? No, I want to head to fucking bed. I'm exhausted. Hmm. Yeah, it could be good. Kinda. Well, I don't see why you would want to actually play plot twist with Cthun. You want to be playing the cards as fast as possible. Right? Because once you play all of his parts, then you have him in your hand. Yeah. I think I'm going to call it to the end of the stream. I know this was a weird one, seeing that all I did was review the set. I will be streaming again on the day of release. Possibly slightly earlier, because I do have class the next day. But I'll probably go until roughly the same time. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Everyone who stuck around. If you guys are not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. It always helps. We're trying to hit 200 subscribers before the end of the year. Which I know to a lot of people that doesn't seem like a lot, but it'd be really cool. I mean, my initial goal was to hit like 100 or 50 subscribers by the end of the year, and like we've already tripled that. So it'd be really cool to like quadruple it. And then we could have like even a bigger goal set for next year. Anyways, with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed yourself. If you guys did, you could also like the stream here, which is something you can't do on Twitch. But you know, again, if you wanted me to stream on Twitch, I'll go stream on Twitch. I don't give a fuck. For me, it's just as simple as pressing start stream. So wherever is more convenient for you guys is where I will stream. So anyways, rep the gang, and I'll see you guys in the next one, where hopefully, on the next one, we get insanely good pulls in the next stream, and in the next video, we're going to probably be playing, well, we're playing Resurrect Priest. Everyone should know that by now, but yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one, right, guys? Peace.